Happy Thursday, class. I am just going to get right to chapter 10 because it's a long one. Prepare yourself. I worried about the little guy all night. But the next morning, Hamster-saurus Rex was back in my locker like nothing had happened. I guessed he just liked to come and go as he pleased. Who was I to stop him? Now he was snoring quietly, snuggled up next to a purple allosaurus. Honestly, it was allo-dorable. I transferred him to my shirt pocket and carried him with me throughout the school day. My plan was working. Each morning, I secretly stuffed 5 times the normal amount of food into my lunchbox. His mom would never notice. At lunch, Hamster-saurus Rex gobbled it all down. I kept him fed, and he was a happy little mutant. When school let out, I returned him to his dino habitat for the night. He liked to wrestle the pteranodons and bite the tails off the ankylosaurus. The next day, I would do it all over again. In history, we learned more about the Pilgrims. Apparently, they wore funny hats. Geometry was Triangle City. In science, we read about the discovery of penicillin. Long story short, some guy called Alexander Fleming ate a piece of mold and he wasn't sick anymore. Gross. Anyway, I failed a quiz about it, so don't ask me. Science night was also mentioned a few times, and I made a note to myself to figure out what it was. Then I made another note to remember that note. Oh, here we go. In gym, we did strange, old-fashioned exercises that nobody seemed to understand. Occasionally, I saw Martha Cherie stalking the halls with purpose, scribbling notes in her Hamster-saurus notebook. Sometimes I saw Beaver looking for Hamster-saurus Rex, too. Despite his claims, he wasn't much of a sunblock Holmes, though. He kept checking every toilet in the school, like he thought hamsters could breathe underwater. I spent most of my time drawing of pictures of Hamster-saurus Rex in different, totally awesome scenarios. I drew him as a space pirate, as an old-timey pharmacist, and as the practitioner of savate, the art of French kickboxing. Once, Dylan caught me sketching a picture of the little guy riding a rocket sled through the desert. Here are the pictures. Space pirate, old-time pharmacist, doing savate, rocket through the desert. So why does he have fangs and a tail? Asked Dylan, stroking her chin. Huh? What? I don't know, I said. Why did Rembrandt paint pictures of dolphins playing poker? I don't think he did. Artistic license, I said, crumpling up the pictures. The more suspicious Dylan got, the guiltier I felt. Other than that, it was smooth sailing for Sam Gibbs and Hamster-saurus Rex for more than a whole week. Then came the olive tapenade. Kind of like mayonnaise, but made out of olives. Mom, I said, looking in our fridge before school, what is olive tapenade? It's a spread for sandwiches, she yelled from her office upstairs. She was on her laptop paying bills. Like peanut butter? I yelled back. We were all out of peanut butter. For sandwiches, she yelled again, distracted. I shrugged and began slathering it on slices of bread for my lunch. I made 5 olive tapenade and jelly sandwiches with extra olive tapenade. 1 for me and 4 for Hamster-saurus Rex. When I got to school, I found a crowd of kids around my locker. Not a good sign. Hey, everybody, I said. Have I suddenly become popular? Sam, you drew a picture of me where my ears were the size and approximate shape of oven mitts, said Julie Bailey, frowning. Right, I said. So I suddenly hadn't become popular. Julie and I were talking about the rash of locker break-ins, said Omar Powell, whose locker was right next to mine. Mine got hit for the 2nd time this week. Somebody stole a whole 27-pack of mint caramel cocoa knobs. He squinted at me. perhaps recalling the jumping desk incident. I had some Funcho's classic Italian cheddar and mayo flavor wedges in my locker, said Julie. Now they're all gone. She held up a bag that had been shredded in a very familiar way. I opened my own locker an inch and quickly slammed it shut. Oh man, I said, me too. I had some food in my locker that also got eaten. Who knows who loves junk food and committing felonies? I glanced down the hallway toward Beaver Vanderkoff. He was reading Pustule Magazine's annual double-sized werewolf issue. Julie and Omar looked at one another. Beaver stealing flavor wedges? It made sense. I have another theory, said Martha Cherie, startling us all. How did she just appear out of nowhere like that? Martha used a pair of tweezers to take Julie Bailey's Funcho's bag. Then she produced the frayed solar system string that I'd seen before. She examined them both very closely with a large magnifying glass. Just as I suspected, the same creature gnawed both. The tooth prints are a match, said Martha. Hamster-saurus Rex is still in this school, probably somewhere in this general vicinity. She began to unroll a spool of yellow police tape. Wait, can I see that for a second? I said, taking the bag and the magnifying glass from her. I pretended to inspect it myself. You know, Martha, I could be wrong, but don't the teeth that made these bite marks seem a little sharper than the ones that gnawed through the string? Whatever ripped into this Funcho's bag had little dinosaur fangs, so to speak. Said Martha, inspecting the bag again. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They're familiar, but not identical. I had no idea you were interested in rodent dental forensics, Sam. It's always been a hobby, I said. You two deserve each other, said Omar, shaking his head. They do not, said Beaver Vanderkoff, who shoved his way forward. Omar and Julie looked at each other and laughed. Very plump greetings, I said. I am Sam's identical cousin, Yarmo, from Finn. Shut it, he said, shoving me out of the way. Hey, Martha, did you know that Sam has a little baby dinosaur playland in his locker? What a dumb, stupid idiot, right? Dumb, stupid, idiot is redundant, said Martha, now scribbling furiously in her hamster notebook. You can just say idiot. Ha ha, yeah, redundant. Nice one, Martha, said Beaver. And then he just stood there for 10 awkward seconds, staring at his feet and silently mouthing words like he was rehearsing something. Beaver Vanderkoff seemed to be displaying an emotion that was neither confusion nor anger. Was the most menacing bully at Horace Hotwater Middle School nervous? When Beaver finally spoke again, his voice was an octave higher. Yeah, so anyway, there's this new movie coming out this weekend. It's called Wolfsplosion 4, and it's all about these werewolves that keep exploding, but nobody can figure out why. In Wolfsplosion 1 and 2, it was because of a ghost. In Wolfsplosion 3, it was alien. Who knows why it's happening this time? But 4 is supposed to be the best in this series. Pustule called it the Citizen Kane of exploding werewolf movies. Said Martha. She didn't look up from her notebook. Yeah, so anyways, maybe we could go see it, said Beaver. Together. Sorry, but I'm only interested in watching movies that have been deemed appropriate for my age range by the Motion Picture Association of America, said Martha. That means a G rating or lower. Oh, said Beaver. Well, we don't have to go to a movie. Do you want to come over to my house and watch my pet boa constrictor eat a live rat? No, thanks, said Martha, still taking notes. Okay, said Beaver, looking down at the ground. Then bye, I guess. Martha ignored him as he slunk off. The whole thing was so painful, I almost pitied the guy. Almost. Nice work on this, Sam, said Martha, holding up the flavor wedges bag. Maybe one day you could make Junior deputy hamster monitor. Fingers crossed, I said. For the record, said Martha, I still think Hamster-saurus Rex is around here somewhere, but now it looks like there's some sort of new lizardy creature on the loose, too. If only she knew they were one and the same. I guess it's a lizard that's addicted to junk food, I said. This school keeps getting weirder and weirder. Funchos, flavor wedges, mint caramel, cocoa knobs, said Martha, making notes. What was eaten out of your locker? My locker? Nothing. Oh, right. Just some cheese wallets. Very interesting, said Martha. All those products are made by Smiles Corp. Huh, just like Coach Weeks' health supplements, I said without thinking. I mean, probably just a coincidence. Probably, said Martha, chewing the end of her pencil. We can compare notes on the case when we go to the ADM. The ADM? The Antique Doll Museum, silly, said Martha with an eerie giggle. Sure, right, the Antique Doll Museum, I said, my heart sinking, a place that I promised to go. The bell rang and Martha dashed off toward homeroom without another word. Once I was alone, I opened my locker again. Hammy Rex stared back at me with wide eyes. He looked worried. That was a close one, pal, I said as I transferred him to my pocket. Look, you can't keep stealing food from other people's lockers. Low profile, remember? He growled. I promise I'll keep you fed, little buddy, I said. Don't you worry. Reality wasn't so simple, though. At lunch, I snuck off. Dylan had come to expect it and hid behind my favorite stack of chairs. I pulled out one of the sandwiches and shoved it into my pocket for Hammy Rex to eat. He took one bite and his eyes crossed. What's wrong? Hamster-saurus Rex spat the sandwich out. It flew 10 feet and stuck to a mural of anthropomorphic letters eating vegetables. The little guy shuddered. That's rude, I whispered. I slaved over a room temperature kitchen counter for 3 minutes on that sandwich. What are you, some kind of picky eater now? He was trying to wipe the taste off his tongue, but his stumpy little paws were too short to reach. He gave up and used his back feet. It's good, see? I took a bite of one of the sandwiches and gagged. It turns out olive tamponade isn't that much like peanut butter after all. I spit my own sandwich out and wiped my tongue with my hands. Hamster-saurus Rex stared pitifully. His stomach gave a warning grumble. So I went through the cafeteria line. Hi, I said. You again? Said Judy. Yes, can I have 4 helpings of shepherd's pie, please? 4 helpings? Actually, make it 5. I'd forgotten that I needed to eat too. She crossed her arms and scowled at me. This is some kind of joke, isn't it? She said. I've worked here 27 years and nobody has ever asked for seconds of shepherd's pie. It comes out of a 50-gallon drum we keep in the parking lot, you know. I'm a shepherd's pie fanatic, I said. Every time the cafeteria serves shepherd's pie, it feels like a national holiday to me. Then why haven't you eaten it before? Because absence makes the heart grow fonder, I said. I will serve you 1 helping of shepherd's pie, said Judy, and that's all. As she took a ladle, dipped it into the beefy, reddish slop, and dumped it onto my tray. I dashed off, alone once again. I spooned half of the shepherd's pie into my pocket. Sorry, pal, I said to Hamster-saurus Rex. Not ideal, but we're going to have to split this. You want to see what he looks like? It's not pretty. There he is. Woo! Something's wrong with his belly. He gobbled it down and then whined for more. He blinked his little eyes. His lip quivered. He looked like he was going to cry. Can hamsters cry? Can dinosaurs cry? Okay, fine, I said. and I spooned him the other half. Still, it wasn't enough. He squeaked with hunger. I'd never heard him squeak before. You want another OT and J? I asked. That stands for olive tapenade and jelly. He hissed at me and stuck out his tongue. So it was back to the cafeteria line for me. Lunch was almost over, so it was just Judy now. Don't even think about asking for more shepherd's pie, she said, pointing to the chafing dish in front of her. It was practically empty. I'd like a roll, I said. Just a plain old roll. I tried to smile. Judy gritted her teeth and picked up one with her tongs. Actually, I said, trying to sound casual, could you just make it 15 rolls? No, said Judy, putting the roll back. I hate it when you kids waste food. I tried to persuade her that I didn't intend to waste anything. Meanwhile, I somehow failed to notice that Hamster-saurus Rex was no longer in my shirt pocket. To sum up, said Judy, pointing her tongs at me menacingly, I don't know what you're up to, young man, but I don't find it funny at all. At that moment, I saw Hamster-saurus Rex right behind her. He was sitting next to a brand new chafing dish full of shepherd's pie, fresh from the oven, or wherever they heat stuff up to body temperature. He was licking his little dino chops. Oh no, I said without thinking. What? Said Judy. If she turned around, she would see Hamster-saurus Rex 2 feet behind her. It was distraction time. Uh-oh. There's Sam. Hey, I said, look at this. And I began an impromptu tap dance across the cafeteria floor. Judy stared at me with wide eyes, utterly baffled. Behind her, Hammy Rex drove headfirst into the chafing dish full of shepherd's pie. What do you think? I said as I frantically danced, trying to hold her attention. No formal training. Pretty good, right? I have no idea what you're doing, said Judy. But if you keep doing it, I'm going to call the school psychologist. Oh, it's just a little soft shoe. I wildly spun and tapped my feet and flailed my hands around. I have no idea how to tap dance, but I gave it my all. Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest, son, said Judy, cocking her head. The dance isn't great. Hamster-saurus Rex devoured half a chafing dish full of shepherd's pie now. He was still going. Oh, yeah, I said, but what about this? I started jumping wildly, trying and failing to touch my toes. If anything, this new move seemed to disturb Judy even more. That's worse, she said. Your handwork is sloppy. Your rhythm is weak. Honestly, you're all over the place. And if you want to tap dance, you need tap shoes. Hamster-saurus Rex sat in an empty chafing dish now. He burped. His furry belly was the size of a tennis ball. He sluggishly climbed down and dropped to the floor. Oh, well, I said to Judy, maybe my dream of becoming a dancer is unrealistic after all. Goodbye. I turned on my heel and left, passing a few baffled classmates. Wait, don't give up that easily, kid, Judy called after me. Believe in yourself. I rounded the corner and Hammy Rex stood on the ground before me. He held up his stumpy little arms like he wanted to be carried. I grabbed him and stuffed him back into my pocket. He was full of shepherd's pie. He barely fit. Not cool, I said. He stared up at me and blinked. Okay, it was actually kind of awesome, I admitted, but don't do it again, okay? The lunch bell rang. Sam, what happened? Asked Dylan as we filed out of the cafeteria towards gym class. You disappeared yet again. What's going on, dude? Sorry. I forgot something, I said. I could tell she was hurt. At this point, I should have told her everything, but I knew how disappointed she'd be. Turns out, the longer you tell a lie, the harder it is to get out of. Hey, I know I've been all over the place recently, I said, changing the subject. But what have you been up to? Training, she said. Training for what? For the little Mr. or Miss Muscles competition, said Dylan. It's today. All right, friends, thank you for joining me for chapter 10. I'll see you tomorrow, chapter 11. Take care.